Oh, hey guys, Garney here. How you doing today? Well, you know what? I'm testing this out for the very first time, and so hopefully you guys can hear me okay. So, why am I doing this? Well, it's all the rage now. All the major YouTubers are not just doing vlogs or their daily posts, things like that. Some of them are actually venturing out and live streaming. So I said, what the heck? Why not try it out? In fact, I've got my Logitech 920 up and running here, and that's what I'm using here. Granted, it's not a 4K video or anything. It's just a hey, let's see if I still have the box here. It's not a very expensive device, especially now. It's been out for years. It's the Logitech C920, and if you guys are interested in any type of streaming type stuff, I highly recommend this. It's really easy to set up, and in fact, setting up streaming on YouTube is pretty doggone simple. If you got a channel and you want to stream, boom, you could get yourself set up pretty quick as long as you got a webcam, or even if it's a webcam on your laptop and things like that. But hey, as I digress, so why am I doing this? Well, I'm trying to venture out into new areas of my YouTube channel. I'm trying to see if there's any interest to go out and do more than just video posts. Not just create video, which is still what I want to do, but how about live streaming? Is that more interactive? Is there something that we could do on the weekends? Is there something that we could do on a Friday or whatever in the evening? In fact, I could put out a shout out to the guys out at Chill Tech. Uh, these guys do a Wednesday night live broadcast stream, and they've invited me several times. And this tomorrow I really want to get, I promise guys I'll be there, but it's really just to connect and try this out, this new setup, and venture out into new territory. So I tell you what, one of the things that really got me going this in YouTube was a gentleman named Casey Neistat. And if you haven't heard, on Friday he announced that he is no longer going to do daily vlogs. Now he's done daily vlogs for 18 months straight, and he's amassed over 5 million subscribers. Now, before he was a daily vlogger, he was a YouTuber, as he calls it. So, a YouTuber meaning he can create content online and things like that for the sake of entertainment. And before he was a YouTuber, he was a filmmaker. He had shows that was picked up by HBO and things like that. So, he's had a very successful career, and it's not just his daily vlogs. He was very much of a success before that, and he's decided to stop vlogging daily for the purpose of new projects. He's got so many things going on right now in his life, and I completely support this, because you've got to cut some projects to move on to another. Can you imagine doing a daily vlog every day to make sure that every day's video is the best content ever? And that's why he was so successful on his daily vlogs. It's just that he put in so much energy and effort into it, and he's proven out this beta, if you want to call it that. He's proven that he could do it, and it's worthwhile. And it is a great platform. And I mean, many of us have used him as an inspiration to either get started or to get better. And so, Casey Neistat, I know you probably never will see this, but I just wanted to do a shout out, say thank you. Because of you, I've gotten started, and that's what I'm excited about, guys. Is that I got started. Now, am I doing daily vlogs and things like that? I stepped away from that because creating content every day is such a challenge. It really is. But the cool thing is that if you could get a pattern to where you could create content every week, big thumbs up. And I try to create good stuff, but sometimes I just don't hit the mark. And I'm learning. I'm getting there. So just like streaming, I'm just trying to try out some new things here. So thanks again, Casey Neistat. I look forward to your future content on your channel. It doesn't have to be a daily vlog anymore. That's okay. I'm still looking for your content. Hey, let's talk about the MacBook Pros. I'm in the market. In fact, I've got a 2012, a late 2012 MacBook Pro that I'm using here. Yeah, it's pretty old, but she still works great. I've maxed her out with RAM. I maxed her out, 16 gigs of RAM. It's a 13-inch MacBook Pro. It's basically got two SSD hard drives in it, a full terabyte of storage. I took out the DVD drive that was in it to make room for the extra hard drive, and she still rocks and rolls. I still love this device, and she still produces great quality videos you've seen from my other posts that I've had out there. one of the things that just came out was that the scuttlebutt of why doesn't the current or the new just released MacBook Pros cap at 16 gigs of RAM. If you guys don't know, guys, RAM in a computer is basically the workspace for the computer. If you think of the processor of the computer, RAM is like its desk space. It's like your kitchen space. You know, you are the chef. The chef is the CPU. And out of all the things that the chef needs to do in the kitchen space, the counter space, the desk is RAM. And the more RAM you have, the more space that the person can work with or the chef can work in. And I know that's kind of a real high level generalization of it, but the more RAM you have, the more things can happen simultaneously. Things can go on. You can move on to different tasks and come back to older tasks to bring them back up and be more efficient. Well, when you do video processing and video editing and things like that, more RAM is better. And so a lot of people are like, how come it's not at 32 gigs? Why are we stuck at 16? Well, finally, it's come out that the Skylake processor from Intel is the culprit. For you techies out there, Skylake doesn't support, according to the readings that I've been finding, is that Skylake is not a big supporter of low power RAM. And basically, Apple has decided that the battery life is more important than having more RAM. So they wanted more battery life versus more performance in RAM. That's okay, because the MacBook Pro obviously still does great jobs when it comes to video editing, rendering, photo management, and things like that. Not a big deal. In fact, it actually proven some other laptops who are faster chipset, more memory, faster hard drives, and the MacBook Pro still beats them when it comes to rendering video. And it's a combination of the hardware and the software, guys. It's not just hardware. But to go back to the cap on the memory, Skylake is not supportive of low power, what they call DDR4, which is another type of processor or memory. And so, but the good news is that the new chipset from Kaby Lake from Intel does support low power. So any future laptops that are out there that are looking to increase their battery life using low powered memory, Kaby Lake is the way to go. So big thumbs up, guys. That's the reason why Apple's stuck with 16 gigs. Now, I'm hoping that whenever they come out with another Apple MacBook Pro, which, it's obviously, it feels like to me it's just taking longer and longer and longer between releases. But that's okay. It's as long as they come out with good quality stuff. And I believe that the MacBook Pros are still good quality products. And when I'm ready to pull the trigger, I'm really leaning toward that side. I mean, initially I was looking at, oh man, I can spend the same amount of money on a top of the line Apple on an Intel based processor system running Windows. And after doing my research, I found out from video and things like that, Apple still rocks. It still is the way to go from there. So let's talk about customer support. I mean, if you haven't noticed, I did a video review on a company called Leeco or Leeco, however you want to spell it, or say it. It's Leeco. Leeco is a company, a streaming company out of China, and they're one of the largest streaming companies out there, and they're pretty successful in that space. But they announced last month a foray into the U.S. market, and they wanted to sell their TVs, their streaming service, and 2 cellular phones in the U.S. market. And the 2 cell phones, and I was really excited about this because I was searching for an alternative to the Google Pixel. The Google Pixel is just a really nice but expensive device. I just can't see myself spending $650 for the low end and up to $870 for the top end. I just couldn't see myself doing that. So I was researching what I call mid-tier, mid-range phones, $300 to $500 range. And all of a sudden, I was looking at the normal suspects like the ZTE Axon 7 or the OnePlus 3 And of course, the Alcatel has one out and things like that. And Motorola has the Z that's out. So I was looking for that sweet spot. And this company, Leco, came out with what they call the Le Pro 3, LEPRO number 3, Le Pro 3. Yeah, great specs. Has the same chipset, but it was actually a clock speed faster than the Google Pixel, which is running the Snapdragon 821 chipset. Has more, has 4 gigs of RAM, has 64 gigs of storage, has decent camera. I would say run-of-the-mill average camera. It's not meant for but it takes good photos if you're going to share them on social media. But the camera, and here's the best part of the camera, guys. I'm sorry, the phone. The best part of the phone was its battery. Yeah, it came with a 4,000 milliamp hour battery compared to the Google Pixel's 3,450 milliamp hour battery. Yeah, that's, a 550 milliamp hour, size bigger. And here's the other part. So it's got a bigger battery. It's running a processor that's clocked faster than the Google Pixel, and retailer is going for $399 US. Yeah, and then of course, if you signed up for their rewards programs on their sale days, you get $100 off, which that means that phone would go for $299. And I said, that's too good to be true, but I'm going to try it out because, boy, I tell you, if you could get a phone that has the latest processor, has great battery life, a decent camera, and it comes at a really inexpensive price, where do you sign? So I pulled the trigger. I actually bought the Leco phone. And in fact, I actually bought 2 Leco phones, the 2 phones that they're introducing here in the US. One was called the Le Pro 3, and the other one was the S3. Now, the S3 is a slightly slower clock speed, but it was the latest Snapdragon 652 processor, 3 gigs of RAM, 3,000 milliamp hour battery, and a decent camera, about the same camera as the Le Pro 3. The challenge with that all, guys, is that, well, the bad news is that the EUI software, their skin or their interpretation of Android, Echo actually has their own operating system called EUI, EUI. I just call it EU because I felt that they took the wrong path on their interpretation of Android. The Android OS was just too buggy. It was too aggressive of shutting down threads. And to give you a specific example, if you have a email client that receives push notifications or a messaging app that receives push notifications, or even like if you're doing messaging apps like Allo or Facebook Messenger or anything else like, or even Snapchats and things like that that receive push notifications, the OS was so aggressive, it would actually shut down those threads, which means even though you receive a message from the world, your app will never receive it because it still needs to run some basic threads in the background, needs to run some processes in the background to receive those messages and give you notification. Well, unfortunately, the EUI software was so aggressive that it shut down even Google Hangouts. I couldn't stand that. It shut down email. In fact, the reason why I was a suspect of that is because I would receive messages on my laptop or emails on my laptop, and I would never get them on the phone unless I actually opened up the Le Pro 3, fired up that specific app, and let it sync. Then it would receive the emails, which I can't live with that. They did come out, to their defense, they did come out with a patch, but the patch wasn't enough. It just still didn't. It was just inconsistent. That's the best way I can explain it. I did have another technical issue with the device. I actually had an issue with the analog headsets on there, like using corded headsets on there, because when I fly, I can't use Bluetooth headsets on a plane. You're not allowed to. So since I like to listen to music or have books read to me or things like that on a flight, I need analog connectivity. So the phone doesn't have a 3.5 millimeter audio jack on it, so you had to use their proprietary CDLA processor through the USB connection. So, but they do provide you a dongle to where you can actually connect your old headsets to this USB, dongle, and be able to. But here's the issue: anytime I was in music, or if I was I'm sorry, specifically if I was in video chat mode or a phone conversation with somebody, and let's say you and I wanted to go out to lunch, and we went, and I moved from the phone app to, let's say, Yelp to look up a restaurant, my line would immediately go mute, and the only way to get out to unmute the line is to go back in the phone app and unplug the headset and replug it back in, or to go in speaker mode and turn off speaker, and then your mic will be turned back on. But the moment you left again to go to another app, you would go on mute. Very problematic. And so I called. I put in a ticket with LaPro. It took them over 5 days to get a hold of me, guys. I think it was like at the end of the 5th day that they finally reached out to me. And after another 5 days of haggling and wrangling, I found out that their support policies, and they're going to go, and then this is the worst part, help me solve the issue. Don't throw policy at me. They said that I would have to ship back the broken phone, and when they received it, they'll make a determination if they will fix or repair the phone or ship a new phone to me. And I said, how long will that take? Well, but when they receive the phone, it will take them anywhere from 7 to 8 days when they receive it to ship out a new phone. So I'm already 7 to 8 days out of a phone, much less sending this phone back to California. And they don't pay for next day shipping. So when you ship it back, it's going to take however long it takes FedEx to send it back to them. And so if it takes another 3 or 4 days, you're looking at anywhere from 10 plus days. Could you, as an individual, go 10 days without a phone? Yeah, that's what I said. No way. I even asked the person on the support line. I said, what if I took your phone away for 10 days? Would that be acceptable? And they're like, that's not relevant. And then, of course, one of the managers who I asked by the way, that what really pissed me off about their support was on the phone, I asked to talk to a supervisor, and the person I was working with kept saying that person was busy. I'm like, I don't care. Give me a person who's got authority that I need to talk to, because I need to escalate this. And she hung up on me. Never called me back. So, okay, you know what? I was upset. Maybe you're going to tell me that I got a working phone that's going to be gone for 10 days, and all of a sudden you want me to be calm that you're throwing policy at me left and right. So I said, I need to escalate this, and they hung up on me. Thanks to the guys on Twitter, whoever controls the social media channel or tag for account for La Echo on Twitter, they did whatever they could to help me out. They put me in. They escalated it for me. They asked. So basically, a supervisor finally called me, and she basically said, "Nope, that's our policies, and we're sticking to our guns no matter what." And I think and she says, "Oh, we'll bring this up to our executives," and I've got a feeling that it's going to fall on deaf ears. So very disappointed in La Echo. You guys had a great device, The price, the battery, the latest chipset. Yes, software can be fixed, but you squandered it. You squandered it big time, and you're ruining it for everyone. So I would never buy their phone, those phones, because of unless they change their policies. I don't know. Maybe that's the norm in China. Maybe that's the norm that they support people in the Asian markets. But if I ever had a problem and I need to send my phone back, I wouldn't mind the company putting a hold charge on my credit card while they send me the new phone. And when they receive the old phone back, they can drop that hold. They don't do that. It just makes sense. But anyway, as moving on, yeah, just know your customer, not from a financial requirements point of view, but just know your culture of the people here. Last thing I want to second to last thing I want to talk about is Trump and the news. Now, no, this is not political in any way. I'm just fascinated with the president-elect and how, yeah, sometimes we just need to have him stop twittering. I said it. He just needs to stop tweeting. But I loved how his press team put him on YouTube last night, and I I appreciated that because now I know what he's doing. Also, he's kind of giving the fu to the press and things like that. Okay, whatever, but think about it. I know that Barack Obama did that too. So President Obama has used YouTube and he's used the press too. But I just think this is great because it finally you see other governments using social media, and I think it's a great thing because for me at least, it gives me that knowledge that I'm receiving it directly from him. Granted, it is YouTube. It wasn't a big press conference, and I know that like companies like C-SPAN and CNN, MSNBC, Fox, all of them they would telebroadcast live events for him. But for whatever reason, I just thought it was really neat that President-elect Trump put a YouTube out there, and I thought kudos to him for doing so. So I wonder what that means for in the future. I mean, if he still is pissed off with all the other companies and the media, is he going to still continue to do that? Or will the media and Trump finally come find middle ground? Which they have to. They have to. We all have our different political opinions, things like that. But hey, mainstream media, no matter how you spun it, how you feel about them and things like that, it is still a source of information. And of course, with all this fake news stuff being brought up on every social media, from Twitter to Facebook to Mark Zuckerberg getting involved with all of this, I get it. I understand. I mean, there's people out there with misinformation all over the place, but surprise, it's the internet. I mean, sorry, guys, it's the internet. I mean, heck, fact-checking sites like Snoop is even getting the crap beat out of them, right? I mean, it's not the first time, but it just tells me that, you know what, you do your research. Have that critical thinking. If someone posts something online, think twice about it. Don't just go with that and retweet it and say, oh my gosh. No, if it's an opinion that you share, okay, I get that. But, propagating fake news, it's just, think about that twice and, try to verify. Try to be a microjournalist yourself. There you go. Try to be a microjournalist yourself because we are sharing information out there. And at least I try to do that. I say try. I'm not saying I do that perfectly. I try. And I do look at all sources, and even though I have my favorites, I still look at the other side because I got to get both sides of the view. I mean, come on. I mean, it's if you stick to one side and one side only, guys, you're not open-minded, and so that's where I was getting at with this Trump and the media side. Try to be your own microjournalist. That's where I'm getting at. How's this working out so far, guys? I hope this is okay. I mean, how long have I been going? Oh. Hey, not bad. Almost 25 minutes. Hey, so you know what? I'm going to I'm going to go and in this video, in this stream, because on a note of Thanksgiving. And I want to share with you guys my Thanksgiving thoughts. First and foremost, I hope all of you have, wherever you are, and it doesn't matter if you celebrate our Thanksgiving or not, wherever you are in the world and things like that, I hope you have a great week. One of the things that I like to do on Thanksgiving is to reflect. We talk about giving thanks and things like that, but to reflect on the year, reflect what's coming, what I think is coming, but really reflect on the things that I have from my family point of view. I have some great kids. I have a wonderful wife. And I give thanks to them because they put up with all my antics. But they're just great people. They support me what I'm doing here and now. They let me spend the money on things to support my channel. I want to say my friends and coworkers and professionals that are out there, happy Thanksgiving to you and your families. I know a lot of us slug it out every week in sales, in pre-sales, in engineering, support, marketing, in operations. No matter where you are, happy Thanksgiving. Even and to my customers and friends, which the majority of you are my friends. Uh, some of you I wish I became friends with, and I'm working on that. But majority of my customers, I want to say that are my friends. You know who you are. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, and to all my associates that are out there, acquaintances as customers. I still want to say, you know, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, and I want to spend more time with you to get to know you and things like that. All past friends and things like that. Thanks again, because majority of you in my past and many of you on my LinkedIn network have shaped me at to where I am today. Uh, to Some have been very critical, which is great, and some have been very gentle in guiding me, which is also great. But a lot of you are very supportive, and that's even awesome. So, guys, I don't want to drag this out too long, but thanks again. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. What are you guys doing? Anybody frying a turkey out there? I'm brining one. In fact, I'm going to brine one tonight. Start brining. Well, actually, I'm going to make the brine tonight, and tomorrow morning I'm going to actually brine it down. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to visit some family, and then all that good jazz. And the cool thing is, I think my son's coming home tonight. I think the school's closing. Oh, no more classes for the rest of the week. So my daughter's home. My son's going to be home. So all of us will be here. Well, guys, have a great one. Thanks again for my first inaugural streaming aspects of it. I know it's long, but hey, that's what streaming's all about. Hey, maybe next time you guys get out here and share a few notes with me and chat along. So we'll talk to you later, all right? Peace.